All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here one last time coming at you with references for Mob. Earlier in the first video, I said that Mob could be even longer than War. Let me correct myself. I overestimated on that end because it doesn't seem like we have too much. It seems like we're going to get this done in a timely manner, possibly below 20 minutes. Also to mention, in the first part, we did, in fact, looking back, I did notice that we missed a few of the references, a very small ones. Is that Mark actually came to. I thought I realized one, and then Mark came and mentioned two more. As for this one, I probably missed a few in Mob too. It's really hard to get down to every single quote and analyze it and determine. Oh yeah, this is from such show or movie or video game. Anyways, let's get started with Mark over here.
I'm going to quickly run down some of the ones we missed. Two that I remember. There was a third one. I don't know what it was now. At the current time we're recording this, I can't tell what it is. But I was involved with both of these, I think. So there is the first one, which is in episode 26 following. Everyone knows what soundboard prank calls are. And I ripped a line from one of those old school, like back in, what was it, like mid-2010s.
You're around in the 2000s, yeah.
Yeah, mid-2010s. There's this one called The Prosecutor. And I ripped one of the lines from him. And the line was, "I'll have your balls hanging in the closet." And Logan's on the phone with somebody in that episode, and he says it. I'm sure Mitch has one of the phone calls from one of the videos from the Prosecutor. You could probably rip up both and put them next side by side.
So get your ass down here before I have your balls hanging in the closet.
You think this is a joke? It's no joke. And guess what? It's going to be my laugh when I have your balls hanging in the closet.
But I was pretty good in that scene, I think. That was one of my more interesting
You were in the background.
Solo scenes. I was the only one speaking. And Nick starts out. You can see in the episode he's trying not to laugh. The second one is actually in the next episode right after. It's from Casino. So we ripped two quotes from Casino. I think it was said by John or Met or White Chocolate. He's known by multiple names at this point. We haven't seen him in a long time, but that was his character. He wanted to make this like Russian guy. I don't know if he's supposed to be Russian or if he's supposed to be like Soviet. He had the hat and everything.
Yeah, if you really pay attention to War and Mob, there's a ton of scrap plots that
they
going nowhere. It's guys like he moved away, Owen moved away.
They all get cracked down.
But a lot of people, come and go, and then what we originally had planned for them, kind of just forget about that.
Yeah, but the scene in question was when he walked into the elite space. He walks up to me. And he asks me, or he tells me, I've been trying to reach you. You're tougher to get than the president, which is the line Joe Pesci says in, I believe, Casino.
Hey, Mr. Clark, how you doing?
Good.
I've been trying to reach you. You're tougher to get than the president.
Well, I've been busy.
Yeah, at least you could do is return my phone calls, though.
I've been trying to reach you. You're tougher to get than the president.
Well, what can I say? It's a tough job. You don't get a lot of downtime.
The least you can do is return my phone calls.
So those are two honorable mentions. Now we're going to get into the actual movie references.
And funnily enough, Joe Pesci's a son.
Yeah, enough Joe Pesci. A lot of, we used to be influenced a lot by more movies.
That's all right. War aside.
Yes.
Now it is time to focus on Mob.
Let's get through this. So when I was actually coming up with the characters of Mob, you might, if you watched like old Yu-Gi-Oh stuff back in the day, like Yu-Gi-Oh GX, or in 2020 like we did, I actually ripped a couple of the names. For example, Adrian Gecko is the biggest one there. A lot of people don't know who that is, probably if you haven't seen season 3. But season 3 of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, there's a character named Adrian Gecko who uses Cloudian archetype, and then he uses Exodia when they get into the third dimension or whatever, when that happens. But I based off of his character, I used that name, and
because they're both rich.
Yes, they're both rich. There is another character as well from the same show, Phoenix. Now, Phoenix Rider is the Mob character's full name, so I didn't put Aster Phoenix, but I just put Phoenix. We mostly don't really refer to him with his last name. We just refer to him as Phoenix. So, in case anyone didn't know, Phoenix and Mob's full name is Phoenix Rider.
As mentioned in a few episodes.
Yes.
As for Tayshawn and Mr. Philly, those two characters have an influence outside of television and movies, and they are actually from YouTube side of things. If you've seen the documentary, Rose has seen our documentary on Ranting Philly Fan. Mr. Philly parallels to Ranting Philly Fan. Tayshawn is a parallel to Ryan Kimball, aka Eagles Crazy, both YouTubers that clashed with each other. What we ended up doing was we took the characters, we made them father and son. We gave them this dynamic. Obviously, not very father and son like in real life.
No.
They were arch nemesis. They were full-on rivals back in the days of Eagles YouTubers.
Jeffrey Lurie is the worst owner in my opinion. I fucking hate him, okay? Because he doesn't do shit. All he does is make excuses, and he has little charity foundations, and he gets these little dick riding fucking fans. These cheerleading goofball fans. Oh, by the way, if you are a Nick Sirianni puppet fan, you should not want to watch the video because I will hurt your fucking feelings. Nick Sirianni is a fucking clown.
And if you got a problem with me saying it, come do something about it, and I'll fucking beat the shit out of you. How about that? I don't give a fuck I'm fat. I don't give a fuck that I have missing teeth. I don't give a fuck. Is this the best you trolls got? Is this the best fucking shit you got? Whoopee, I got missing teeth. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck that I'm fat. Who gives a shit? That's the best you got, you fucking amateur pussies? Come on.
If you haven't seen the Philly Files on the Documentary Bros, I believe the full Philly cut is available. It's like 3 hours long. But yeah, long story short, Tayshawn, Mr. Philly are characters based off of Eagles YouTubers. That's why Tayshawn always wears an Eagles jersey.
Yeah.
And he talks in a certain way, just like the YouTuber Eagles Crazy too. Okay, so episode 2. There's a scene where we go into this room and Mr. Philly does a deal with Phoenix Rider. He receives these golden guns. And this was supposed to play out a little bit like the scene in Taxi Driver, where Robert De Niro's character, he purchases a revolver, he pulls it out of a suitcase, puts it on the bed, he's like looking out the window.
You got a 44 Magnum?
It's an expensive weapon.
That's all right, I got money.
It's a real monster. Stop at a car at 100 yards, put a round right through the engine block. Look at that. Look at that, that's a beauty.
The dealer is describing the gun and all such sorts. It's funny because in more we reference the gun deal or the gun shop in Terminator. So that's a twofer right there.
Where's you looking? For some of these special type of guns I go as well. I drew a few. Mind closing that door? This isn't really strictly illegal here. I don't have a lot, but all I have is right in here. Like how they look? Let me show you what we got here. So, you have this one, long range, automatic, fully automatic, perfect for anything.
In that same episode, we have a quote from the Boondocks. So, although Tayshawn is influenced by Eagles Crazy, the Eagles YouTuber, that I do play him off just like the character Ed Wunsler III in the Boondocks. We reference that in the war reference video, the Boondocks, and I brought in another character, which I guess Ed Wunsler III, just a really funny guy. In that scene, I talk about like texting bitches and all this stuff, and there's a scene played out just like that in the Boondocks.
Wanna play that game? Where?
Dang, shit, you got your guns sticking out at each other, and you got these smartphones, they can do anything these days. I mean, I love to text it. You talk about texting all these bitches right just by texting the instant text, man. It's so simple when you guys are out here shooting these guns out.
Hey, I don't mean no harm.
Don't get that. Get what? That texting shit. And what's wrong with texting? You mean aside from the fact that it's the stupidest fucking thing in the world? I mean, why would anyone in their right mind spend 15 minutes trying to type some shit they could have called and said in 5 seconds? Plus, it involves typing with your thumbs, which I just don't approve of. Fun fact, nothing typed by someone's thumbs has ever been important. It's all just nigga technology anyway. What you call it?
Shit, I be texting my ass off. Shit, bitches like texting. I be texting them all the time. Matter of fact, I also be texting my weed man too, because you know he don't like to be on the phone, so I text him.
Case in point.
And then my mannerisms, the way I kind of have gangster talk too, is pulled straight from his character.
straight to
Moneyball quote.
episode 5. I know them. Yeah, this is okay. Yes, I hate liars. I hate liars more than people who tell the truth. So when we actually filmed the scene, I know what we're talking about now. This is one of the quotes I actually remember. We mentioned a Moneyball quote in, I think it was that in Potential of Phoenix, or was that was this episode 5?
Yeah, episode 5.
Okay.
The one
But
where
yeah, Bobby's being tortured in a garage where he gets a bucket of water dumped on him, which we had to do in one take because you're gonna be able to tell he had water on him.
And it was freezing.
Yeah,
that was like in the middle of winter.
You had to poured boiling hot water in that thing. No, it wasn't.
I think it was boiling, but it was
boiling.
warm.
Wasn't
But then
boiling.
the thing is, he was out there for so long, it started
Yes,
cooling.
it started cooling off. But the quote was from Moneyball. From what I can remember, I think he says, "I hate losing more than I love winning." And Nick said, "I hate liars more than people who tell the truth." So he was supposed to say, "I hate liars more than I love people who tell the truth."
More than I like.
More than I like. Yeah, but you know, it kind of works.
I hate losing more than I even want to win. And there's a difference.
No, I hate lies. I hate lies more than the people who tell the truth. And there's a difference.
The truth hurts.
Yeah.
And then the second half of this is our biggest reference, one of the most fun scenes I think we've filmed. It was the Ocean's 12 style egg lift scene, but instead it was us jumping Nick, or in this case Phoenix, in a car, in Aaron's old car. And I remember filming it. It was what we were filming around this parking lot, and we went in circles the whole time, and we just kept filming takes of like Nick and Seth, or you and Seth shoving Nick around in the car. Eventually, like there was this, I think in that final cut, he gets flipped upside down somehow.
Yeah, to this date, it's still one of my favorite scenes to make. Even though it was so messy, like we were in there just screwing around. We lifted Nick up upside
Yeah, you
down.
got his hat. The scene doesn't have any dialogue, but in one of the scenes, he takes the hat. And he's like, "I got his hat. I got his hat."
We were screwing around so much in that scene. It was just a blast.
Yeah, it was really
Although the car got hot as hell. That's how to say that.
You can tell it gets. You can tell that because of all the carbon. But yeah, egg lift themes. Ocean's 12 is a great movie, underrated, underappreciated, I think, or in the Ocean's trilogy as a whole. Like, I think it's from what I can remember, it's like one of my favorites.
They tried a lot of different things in that movie. The cast is one to remember forever. The scene differentiates itself from the fact that, unlike in ours, in the movie, they use the fight as a diversion to steal the egg, and it's a Boston Red Sox fan fighting a Yankees fan. They're pretending to fight and argue each other. Episode 6, this one I'm just gonna blaze through because it's super simple. It's like a 5-second shot of a bone flying up in the air during twilight, and it spins, kind of like the bone in 2001: A Space Odyssey, except instead of transitioning to a spaceship, I think it goes right to the chalices zooming in to end off the episode. That was Nick's idea. Funny enough, because we were just walking around the lake and the water was. He's like, he found a bone, he threw it up, and it took like 10 tries to do it, but we got it eventually, and I actually really like that moment.
Episode 8. Yeah, so I'm in this scene as well. I remember I did this scene based off of another. It's like a YouTube video. So this was Instagram or YouTube?
Yeah, Instagram. It's something like you find on Live Leak.
On YouTube.
I'm gonna put it in here. I still have it.
Yeah, it's I think it's like African. It's like a couple African people. In this video, he has a gun. They both have guns. They're playing Russian roulette. This is why the episode's called that. It's called Russian roulette because of that scene. And he has a gun. It's like revolvering, something like that. And they keep clicking at each other's feet. I'll just let the video honestly speak for itself. I don't need to say anything else. Just play the video.
No, we got the new shit in, bro. It's called Russian roulette. $400 a bet. You know what I'm saying? Your life is at stake. You know, shoot your fucking foot. You win $400, you lose $400 on your toes. All right, go ahead. You take the first shot, crazy. Fuck that. Oh, $800 at stake. Russian roulette.
Add him another bullet. Crazy.
I had to put it in there. I had to. I was dying laughing from that video for days.
So yeah, that's the video. He gets shot in the foot, and we did that in War Series. It's me and Mitch. He's got the money. He puts it down.
I got his ass.
Yeah, Jesus! Yeah!
And we like keep firing. It's funny because I don't even think, did we have the revolving guns in that scene? I don't even think we
I believe, yeah, we did.
One of I did.
Popped it up.
I know I did. The floor screaming my head off.
For $10.
Probably,
man.
yeah, there was, I'm sure there was people looking, making weird looks, but yeah, I was like grabbing my foot.
Do you want to talk about the 5G conspiracy and the crackhead
We'll do,
in the
how
closet?
about we both do this one? We both do this one. So the crackhead in the closet, or the person in the closet. There's been a weird trend for every War Series we've had. Me, I just put myself in the closet for some reason. Any closet, any scene that has a closet in it, I just put myself in there. It actually goes as far back as like the original pre-War Season 1, like War Season 2.
Quiet, I got someone coming.
That's 8% for your ass. What is your problem? What? Is that a rat? Oh, you crackhead! What's he doing in there? This is a public community center, and you have that shit going on?
I just say food. But yeah, you'll see that in the clip as well, which it's pretty funny. And in the same scene, we have a running joke throughout the whole show.
It started in 2020.
Yeah, it started in 2020. So it
Started
started
in
in
COVID conspiracy theories.
The Fullerton Informer, 5G is gonna kill you, 5G internet conspiracy, and there's like a book about it, or he like pretends that the book's about 5G.
Yep.
I'm sure there's multiple clips.
5G's been going strong for almost 4.5 years. We're still here.
Yeah, the important clip is the one in this episode though. But yeah, 5G internet conspiracy. That's been a running gag for quite a while.
This book, the author of it, believes the 5G is gonna make the children infertile. That makes no sense.
Pentagon throwback to Old War. I do know what it's talking about.
Yeah, you're in the scene. It's the scene where
I'm in the
Logan
scene.
at the hotel, and it has the Pentagon flashing.
Pentagon flashing?
That's why I put it in.
I don't think I remember that.
Yeah, it's right there. It's about you. You're like, this UFO propaganda is bullshit.
UFO
and it flashes the giant Pentagon
Yes.
right there. I did that on purpose.
Okay, yeah. In Old War, there was something about Ron Asleep. So obviously we did a lot of ad-libbing in Old War, and Ron Asleep, one of the villains I played, no one knows what I'm talking about, but again, you had to be there. That's a lot of this stuff. That's a lot of what the inside stuff is for. But I impulsively said a really stupid line. I was like 10 years old back that time.
You were still in elementary school.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, where's the Pentagon? Where's the Pentagon?
You know, you go, tell me one thing. The Pentagon. Where do they hide it?
Where do they keep,
Owen started laughing his ass off.
Yeah, I remember exactly.
Where do they keep the Pentagon? Yeah, it's right on Google Maps.
Where do they keep it? Yeah, and Owen started laughing. He was like, it's Washington, D.C., you dumbass, or something
Yeah,
like
that's what he said.
For the final cut of that episode, I was like, where's the president? I must find him and kill him.
Episode 13 has quite a few, but they're very quick. So, it's the Tree of Life, and that is just a full-on, word for word copy of the title, the movie The Tree of Life by Terrence Malick, one of my all-time favorites.
We've also
definitely recommend it if you've ever heard of it. If you haven't, go ahead, give it a watch sometime. It's one of those movies that you absolutely have to watch before you die. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, getting into the actual episode, that's just a detail inside the episode. A moment in the episode with the pimp. We haven't talked about the pimp this whole video, I don't think.
Yeah, no.
He brings up Dragon Ball Z. He goes, we're gonna grant wishes like the fucking Dragon Balls. And Logan, like, he doesn't know what the hell. He's an old man. He doesn't know what the hell anime is.
Watch cartoons.
And he's like, Dragon Ball, what's that? He goes, monkey people. I don't know much about Dragon Ball Z. I never really watched that that much when I was a kid. My sister really liked it, but yeah. I don't know much about it, but Owen, if you have questions, hopefully Owen will hit you up in the comment section.
What's a dragon?
You know, it's just fucking orb, the monkey people. You know?
Another reference in the same episode is quite a wild one. For those who haven't heard of Slapshot, we didn't know what that movie was until just a few months ago. Back in July, we watched it for the first time ever. Probably the only time I'm ever going to watch it. I probably won't ever watch it again.
Absolute classic.
It is, yes. It's a hockey comedy where there's these three characters who are like, they're supposed to be, I guess,
Hanson brothers.
I think they're supposed to be mentally handicapped in the movie. But there's
definitely not physically handicapped.
Yeah, not physically handicapped. Yes, because the movie is about like being physical in hockey, and they all beat each other up, and so it's funny. It's supposed to be a comedy, and Paul Newman's in it. And there's a line he says in the movie that Owen rips from in the scene. It's very appropriate in the context. So the three characters from Slapshot show up to the, I guess, what is it, like the team quarters or something like that, locker room.
Yeah.
And they have toys. They have like toys like trains and stuff. From what I can remember, it was trains. It was like old figures and stuff. And what we did in this episode was we had
Legos,
stuffies, stuffed animals, which mind you,
anything we could find.
Stuffed animals in their finales. But that was the Slapshot toy, and I haven't even mentioned the quote yet. I've been talking about the context.
Yeah.
I haven't mentioned the quote. Well, what the quote is Paul Newman says, "They brought their fucking toys with them."
Yeah,
and Owen says the same thing.
Oh, you cheap son of a bitch. Are you crazy? Those guys are retards.
I got a good deal on those boys. The scout said they showed a lot of promise.
They brought their fucking toys with them.
Well, I'd rather have them playing with their toys than playing with themselves.
They're too dumb to play with themselves.
Hold up. Fucking kidding me with these clowns? They brought their fucking toys with them! Well, not in fucking preschool, pal.
There, but Owen was afraid to say the word.
He still
he skips on the one bit, but yeah, he mentioned he brought their fucking toys.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to put that as soon as I saw that scene. We were on the floor laughing. I was like, man, I'm making Owen say this line. I had to. Once Upon a Time in Gettysburg, Part 1. And what is Once Upon a Time in Gettysburg all about? Well, it is about the war series take on a Western. We never ever did it before. I was thinking for the longest time, how are we gonna make Mob different than everything else? So we had our own little twist, spin on the Western genre because it's in Gettysburg in Civil War times. What do we have? We have the title, Once Upon a Time in the West. One of the greatest Westerns of all time, in my opinion. That's where the title comes into play.
And Gettysburg.
The aesthetic, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The most iconic Western of all time. So there you have it right there. I play the tracks. I try to create the vibe here and there. There's literally a scene towards the end where the pimp loses his revolver. Mitchell comes behind him. But before that, there's two grunts or goons come up, they're gonna kill the pimp. Pimp's like, oh shit, he doesn't have his revolver, he lost it. And then Mitchell comes up, out of nowhere seemingly, and saves his ass. This is a quick standoff. It's just like the scene with Tuco and The Good, the Bad, the Ugly.
You know you've got a face beautiful enough to be worth $2,000?
Yeah. But you don't look like the one who collected. A couple steps back.
Scooby-Doo Bunny. Yes,
Bunny.
yes. Okay, so in that same episode, there is a... This was on the fly, I think. So for those who watch old school Scooby-Doo, like the movies, like the live action ones, the really bad live action ones, granted with they're funny, they're good, they're fun to watch. Like I wouldn't call it the worst movie ever. They don't age very well.
I saw those back in elementary school.
Yes, same here. But yeah, the bunny is from, I believe, the
Scrappy
second one. Yes. Draws a bunny on a notepad and he flips it around. He's like, bunny. And
Scooby-Doo, what's your conclusion?
Bunny.
Aaron drew it exactly the same.
Drew it like 10 seconds.
Like, yeah, 10 seconds.
On the fly.
1-to-1 scale. And we put that in there and he's like, what's this? This is a bunny. This is a bunny. And he was like, this is your notepad. But yeah, that was, he didn't say it like Scooby did in the movie, but it was a pretty funny reference. We all had a good laugh. It'll be in the bloopers too if you guys watch the bloopers.
This won't be a spoiler. All I'm going to say, just as I mentioned before, it's going to draw that same Western inspiration over. The whole episode's going to have that whole effect. You're going to have standoffs, all that fancy stuff. All the goods. There is one scene in particular. I don't think there are any other very distinct references in the episode. Just the one at the very end. A scene that as soon as I saw it, I told myself I have to recreate it. It's one of the most recreated scenes, at least to my knowledge, in movies, in pop culture. Like everybody, I don't know why, everybody remakes this scene. So I was like, well, shoot, we have to honor it, we have to respect that, and put a little twist on it, have our very own take when it comes to Mob, obviously. It's not a 1-to-1 remake.
Well, we don't have an area that big.
Yeah, exactly. We had to compromise. We had to improv and compromise. But that is the final the golden egg, the final showdown.
Best way to
Give
describe
you any more details.
Yes.
That's it.
Best way to describe it is, remember from season 1 how we had that really bad Finn the Red Line scene that we mentioned in the last references video? Well, just take what we learned from that scene and we applied it to this one to actually make a scene have justice. Something like that. That's the best way to describe it.
All I'll say is trust in the Sergio style. That was my gut feeling, and that's what I went with for the last 2 episodes. Last 3 episodes, actually. Road to Gettysburg. Road to Gettysburg. That's Road to Perdition. There you go.
That's also
just the quick little title bit there. That should do it.
Yeah,
right?
that concludes all the references. Obviously, there's probably a ton of more quotes, like small stuff, but these are all the big ones. All the quotes, you guys can find that yourselves watching. They're not as important as like maybe the movie references, the mass media references, pop culture, all sorts of stuff like that. This was fun to do. It's fun to look at all the stuff, look back at the past. It kind of applies the same thing to the commentaries and breakdowns. That concludes most of all our bonus content. There's not much left besides the documentary, I have to say.
Yeah, that's it for us. Peace out, guys.